Welcome. Another video. And good morning from New York. Yeah, thanks goes out to Big Linux who makes this whole excellent distro. Linux, my favorite. Absolutely. Hats off to switch to Linux and DistroTube. They are really remarkable helps for people who want to try Linux. So show Big Linux and these two channels some support. There are others that are really great too. Yeah, and thank you to Nestle chocolate. What a blend I have today. Some cocoa, yeah, in with the Nestle chocolate and a little bit of soy milk, but mostly water and honey. Weird, but that is just it's just lighting my fires. This is a great mix. Thanks to all the people who make those things possible. Yeah, all the growers, the manufacturers, and everything that one bring possible. Amazing, isn't it? We're very dependent on each other. Now we'll just go into the subject today. Decay in cities, crime, addiction, mental illness, IMC. You say, well, what does intermind communication have to do with decay in cities? Yeah, it does sound like a bit of a stretch, doesn't it? But really, it's not. Um, crime seems to be mixed up in the decay of the cities with addictions and mental illness, big time. And what can we do about it? Well, some things are, as I say, the damage is done. Coping with that is very complex. But we need to invest more in our children. They need to have great home lives, so that they can have great brains so that they will not be so lawless. There's a lot of lawlessness is just, it's really, if you're going to break the law, and you're not in a lawless country, laws are cruel. If you're breaking the law, that's a lack of objectivity, compassion for yourself and others, and again, the creativity. Couldn't you find something else to do? So, I mean, and that relates to the damaged faith and love, which is a kind of mental illness that IMC deals with, trauma. It also deals with spiritual growth and development of these empathies that I just hinted at. Objective empathy, passionate empathy, and creative. The creative empathy is your, you first of all dive into your imagination. That's where everything that you imagine to be real exists. And that doesn't mean that it really is real, but that's your world of your imagination. And in that realm of your imagination is where the practices of IMC take place within your own mind, within your mind, mirroring your reflections on reality, your senses, their message is to you. These this inner mirroring, this inner dream, you can enter that dream. The first step is going into the creative, recognizing that you're the creator of that dream, and that creator, is what creates all of your perceptions of reality and yourself. And so that's the gateway into the inner dream experience of IMC. In that imagination, there is the part of you experiencing it like it's real. So remember, this is a mirror of reality, which you are going through drama. Here you are going through the drama in a reflective way, and using various ways to reflect. 6 of them total. 3 that do not involve language or words, and 3 that do, the more social brain. And tapping each of these can be, as I've said before, revelatory in terms of how well developed a person is with these skills. And that's the way we, part of the way we can assess, along with brain scans, looking for tumors and other causes. We can take a look at where a person needs help. That's something that can be applied in prisons, and I hope we're going to fast pace this at some point. It tells you, gives you, just having the person practice these things with a trained observer, you can see where things have gone wrong. The person will clam up and not be able to do some parts. They will not get the concept. They will either be numb, or they might actually start to cry. But they don't know why. They're just crying. and just feeling overwhelmed. So it kind of tells you where the damage is. And that's important if you're going to be helping people. Addictions, well, as I've said before, the helplessness trauma, around, around needs, feelings, and their expression, is that repression goes hand in hand with what the brain gives you as more attainable symbolic representations of your needs. It can be time displaced, There's always time displaced. And it, or it can be very noticeable. But it's always time displaced. You're living in the past, symbolically. You're chained to the past. And that's not healthy. So these skills can be improved over time. What are these skills? And these skills can help the person. The lack of these skills indicates damage, and that damage is related to traumatic experiences, of course. Which can be long and played out deprivation. It can be any number. But the needs and the feelings have become symbolized. That symbolic representation is a form of addiction. In some ways, this kind of damage is it's an addiction to the past, to symbols of the past. And just talking about it probably isn't good. But it's an important thing. You've got to take an objective, a creative, and a passionate approach to the issues of a person, their dramatic self, the kid in them. You also need to develop the skills of focus, play, and expression in relation to feeling. And of course, doing that in an appropriate way. These things are, I think, also important probably to IQ. And there's a chance, some chance, that reversing this damage can help a person to think better. And almost definitely that. But it can also help them with addictions. The chemical addictions and so on bring in extra problems. But again, the philosophy of IMC, you don't, like, for instance, you don't take people and have them go cold turkey off of an addiction, like with drugs. Some things they have to. Well, no. there are ways of easing into um, these skills and what these skills bring up as you develop them. The capacity to feel what happened to you as it really was improves as these skills improve, especially as um, if you're doing all of these skills together in a session, that makes it more powerful. But you're always staying within the comfort zone, like methadone. That's helping the person get off of a symbolic struggle. Uh, that's chemical, and that's a very important thing. Um, a lot of these chemical treatments and so on, as we have seen, it means an ongoing. That's where we need psychiatrists. You know, it's an ongoing thing. Chemical. You know. Although the philosophy of IMC relates to this, um, when it becomes a chemical issue, then we're going to need the skills of psychiatrists. But still, the philosophy of it and the practices are still useful. Could a person be cured? Period. Of a chemical addiction remains to be seen. I think in some instances, IMC could, properly done, could cure that for some people. But in practical terms, this is an ongoing process. Now, the decay in cities is linked to this kind of addictions and to mental illness. This because these addictions are a kind of mental illness. So, where do you start? Well, you have to start, like I said in the beginning of what I was saying, you've got to start with the children and how you're raising them and making sure they're raised in appropriate environment. And you've got to screen all along. Screen the kids. And IMC is, for a trained observer, that's the attempt to do these things can be very revelatory. And of course, you need a child psychologist to apply, see appropriately for children. They're developing. And I would say that development goes probably all the way through age of 25. So, they're going to be upset with me. You're 25 and below your child. Still, your brain is still developing. And there's other ways. It's various forms of childhood from the beginning. We're growing up until we die. And that's the goal, is to keep growing all the time till those last moments when you can be happy about what you contributed in life to yourself and to others. So part of the cure for the decay in the cities is taking care of our kids and screening them for, problems. Treatments for entire families that are. But to look at it really as an illness, in a way, all of these things that you're looking at here are quite natural responses to trauma. Um, so in some ways, the definition of illness doesn't entirely fit. Um, it's a medical model, and it has its value. But we can also see it as that not as a sickness, but as an opportunity to grow. If you're alive, you're not too sick. You can grow. There also, you have to understand that there's some people that don't respond to efforts like IMC. That presents an extra problem. You can do brain scans and you can see. You have a guess at how sociopathic a person might be, and that's. I'm not meaning that in a negative way. It's a person that has trouble integrating and connecting to their needs and the needs of other people. Some, I think some you have to work around whatever the capacity the individual brain of a person presents. So I think brain scans should be done very early. But the problem with the medical model is that you form this human, you respond and act on this human tendency to categorize what a person can achieve in life based on really not enough information. This child, they never do this, or many of them do that. You don't know that. Yeah, get off your high horse. You really know that? No, you don't. So I think that's one thing that would really help with crime is just education, which is appropriate to each child at their age and capacity. And a lot of times, it's just this memorizing of things. And we've left discovery, creativity out of our education systems. It's fun to work on problems. And for social animals, it's fun to work on problems together. And children, well, they can be put into teams, and the team succeeds. And, there might be a weak link there, but that child gets to feel success in a team. I think that's one thing that we can do in the education system, is to not so much focus on the individual child. And, so this child is not capable of this and that and this one. Nah, give them problems, and bring in people that love to solve problems. Mathematicians and physicists and engineers. They bring these people in. Bring these people in early and make it fun. Present problems and have the kids have a chance to work on the problem. It doesn't always have to be a competition. Throw that in if you want. But and then change up the teams, during the year of, last year, change the teams around. so that kids can be in this team or that team. And so there's not a winning team and, losers, that the kid identifies with the loser. Mix it up. And during that period of time, they might get to be the winner in a competition, right? Their team would win. So, and the thing is, in such a kind of situation, um, you know, there's a little bit of help going back and forth. And let's tie this in now. This is a prevention of criminality. Uh, and a promotion of the idea that there are more than one way to see things, and learning to accept that, and give different kinds of chores to the kids, because kids are differently intelligent. I can't drive. I can't parallel park well. I can't, never could have ability to drive a semi. I'm just, they amaze me. That's a kind of intelligence. Um, you know, Another thing we can introduce into the education system is the idea of thank you. You know, and in their little teams, they can all thank each other. And the kid that had a question, that inspired another kid for an answer. Even a dumb kid like I'm can have a good question. Thank the child for the question. That was a great question. You spurred an answer. Wow, thank you. Questions are just as important as answers. And doubt is also a valuable thing. It's not all trust and faith, and you have a little doubt too. But all of this is part of the IMC philosophy. Invest in our schools. I mean, people go, we know this, we've been doing this. We already do emotional intelligence classes in the schools and social. We're doing this, and it's still having problems. Yeah, you don't go far enough. You don't bring in the families. And now when it comes to law enforcement, it's like we need to have laws that are easy to understand and that promote compliance. I've seen just terrible situations, especially when it comes to roads and people drive. And the answer for that, pretty simple. Since it's not all about disincentives. What about incentives to obey the law? You can reward kids even in school early on. You can reward them. Have a cop have a nice day. Teaching a kid about law and its importance, and giving them a ride in a squad car. Taking the poor kid out to dinner, and giving something to that kid that kid can share. Lift up the fallen, and all the boats rise. So, putting that influence in the right places is important. So there should be incentives. And what are the incentives? Well, instead of just being able to give a ticket to someone for speeding, what if an officer could observe, and you can use drones. I love the idea of drones to watch a car, and it says this massive traffic. This person is obeying the laws. They're driving safely. This is a great thing. So the police pull them over, and that way, people don't know. They don't they have a negative feeling about the police pull you over to give you positive ticket. You can have that reward in a number of different creative ways that support the local businesses and so on. But give the police a chance to reward and not punish. What's the heck? What kind of job is that? Oh yeah, I want that job. That's a rough job, but it should go both ways. And if people knew that their reward was their rewards were coming from the money that came from the negative tickets, that person goes, yeah, well, it's an extra incentive really to obey the law because you broke the law. But now old Joe over here, which maybe you don't even like, gets a reward that was my money. People, they're people. So I mean, that's an extra incentive. No, I'm going to be one of the ones that gets the money. I'm like, it's giving money to other people. Everybody wants to feel special. And the thing is, that shouldn't create a favoritism. I mean, if they're driving well one day and then they lose that money the next day, that's an extra hurt. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I got $50 and oh, got a ticket that's 75. Me, paid by me. Yeah, that's going to influence things, I think, and consistency in the laws. That's kind of like the staying in the boundaries of comfort. Looking at what goes on and adjusting it slowly, carefully, and consistently. So, yeah, the general philosophy applies to law too. So I think these are good ideas. So I don't know what you think, and won't know what you think, or others won't know what you think if you don't reply, or make a comment, and of course, a disagreeing comment is better than oh, what a great video. Why? Why was it? Why did you say that? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? It's probably next. So, if you take the time and give your own ideas, they might be better than mine. And that's all good because we're on one team. We're all human beings. And the future of whether we're going to keep going is kind of dependent on, whether this human team learns to work together. So, and keep the love flow going. As I like to say at the end of my opinions, my humble opinions, hopefully. I like to say the word namaste, which again, all that is wondrous and mysterious and good, and marvelous, which I think is all about our brain. Our brain is our higher power. It is the creative artist. So we tap into, call it our muse. And some of you people go, oh, there's a supernatural thing. Believe what you want. Keep the love flow going. And that word is namaste. It means the universe wonders that higher self, brain in me. This is in me. Would like to honor that in you. Humanity, honoring each other is very important. Recognizing the humanity of each person, developing the love flow, seeing the value of those in need, as well as those who are capable of giving. And namaste. Have a good day, y'all.